Coach, how you doing, Coach? Coach, I'll die for you, Coach. I just want you to believe in me. I just want you to believe in me. Let's go to the line.
And they basically told me if I'm there, it's a possibility they're going to take me. So I had my phone right next to me, ringer on all the way up. Kept checking it, I was nervous, but when I got that call, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, the feeling.
The Lions take one of my favorite players in this draft class, Isaac Tesla out of Arkansas. I'm giving this an A+. Almost 6'4", 214 pounds, ran a 4.43 at the combine.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Hey, Lions Talk Live Morning Show Edition. It is a holiday show edition. Memorial Day is here, and I hope you all have some great time with friends and family. But for those just getting up, hey, want to get that morning dew, maybe get that morning coffee, we got a little bit of a show for you guys today. Probably not going to be a full hour. We'll wait and see, though. Maybe it will be. As you can tell from today's thumbnail, we got a little bit of a burning question I think we're all going to have to face. Detroit Lions, we went through it yesterday. Insanely deep team. You could argue the deepest team in the NFL. And yes, you'll have something in the 5 headlines now that does kind of corroborate what we said yesterday. And this is going to come from ESPN. Talk about timing. Anyway, we'll get into that. We'll get into the 5 headlines now. We'll get into everything in between. Real quick, before we do, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 41 subs away from hitting 13,800. So if you can assist with that, I would be thankful. And thank you very much for that. Also, if you have a half second of time while watching the show, reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, if you're considering either today, tomorrow, maybe in the next year or so, buying or selling property, anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. Been in the industry for over 30 years, so if you're looking for someone to work on your behalf, try to help you out with a transaction, making sure that you don't get overcharged by a lender or some other entity within the transaction process. So it can be commercial property, vacant land, new land, old land, new house, old house, or anything else to do with real estate. Go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text, make sure somebody's got your back, and make sure you get taken care of. I work hard, so you don't have to. That's one of my slogans, at least. All right, with that, all that done, set out of the way, let's get this show rocking and rolling and going. Let's get into 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming our way. Former Lions starter seeing renewed interest as OTAs kick off. Fanside story by Michael Bolin. Hey, the Lions we're going to talk about it forever, a lot of talent, which also means a lot of people fighting for different spots. One of the guys looking for new employment somewhere else is Jerry Jacobs. We get it, man. This guy, he came in Detroit, undrafted free agent. He's trying to do what he can to win a spot somewhere. And you know what? Good for him. He's found a way to at least keep his NFL dreams going around. Will he land there? We'll find out, but at least he's got an opportunity. I liked Jerry Jacobs when he was here. I get a lot of fans threw shade at him, and I understand it. He was never intended to be a starting cornerback in the NFL, at least not with the Lions, for my belief. But because of a number of injuries, some draft picks or whatever you want to say that didn't work out, like Jeff Okudah, he got his opportunity, made the most of it. And yes, some fans weren't always happy with him. But that being said, just as an individual, I'm cheering for the guy to make it and make it onto another opportunity in the NFL. All right, next, Tate Ratledge named as the Lions' top breakout rookie candidate. Story by Jeff Risden, Lions Wire. Again, you got talent across the board with this team. You got people battling, and we will get into that during the main top of the day. Tate Ratledge, it's hard to bet against the guy because you look at everything he brings to the table. He is, he's physical. He's big. He's athletic, surprisingly, for a 6'6" guy of his size. But at any rate, he has a certain tenacity too that I think anybody who watched him play in college, you get that's going to translate very well to the NFL. Could he be the breakout Lions rookie? I don't know, but I think he's going to really be someone they're all going to pay attention to throughout the season. I don't know if he's going to be a starter this year, but I think he will be in the conversation. And if nothing else, he's going to force other guys to play at an incredibly high level to keep him off bay, keep him from taking their spot. And yes, this is one of the better things a coach could ever hope for is when you have a bunch of people roughly the same ability level. Who wants to win that spot? Who doesn't want to win that spot? You know, nothing, in my opinion, nothing makes people practice harder than competition and the fear of either losing a job or potentially winning a job. Tate Ratledge is going to be someone we're going to be watching, I feel like, for about the next decade for the Detroit Lions, unless I'm really wrong, which could happen. All right, Insider. Not all Lions draft picks will make the team. SI.com, story by John Macron. If you had a guess right now, out of the Lions draft picks from this past draft, who makes it and who doesn't? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Many of us are going to probably assume, hey, you're a first-round pick, second-round pick, third-round pick, yada, yada, yada. You're going to make the team. But that doesn't always end up being the case. I think there's some potential that maybe 2 or 3 of the draft picks don't make the team. Would that happen? We'll see. But if you guys have thoughts on this, let me know. Dominic Lovett, there in this particular story by John Macron, he's listed as a questionable candidate to make it. You know, and then you got Jackson, the safety, Dan Jackson, the safety, you know, that maybe he doesn't make it. The only thing I would say there is the Lions probably need a lot more depth in at the safety spot going into the regular season. Whether they're going to handle that with him or somebody who's cut off of the 53-man roster, cut downs a few months from now, it can all both be true. Now, I think most is assuming Ahmed Hussein is going to make it, but is there a world where he doesn't? He is a fan favorite already. Could he potentially be a cut candidate? I think the guy just goes too hard all the time for that to be happen. Isaac Tesla, I think he is going to make it. We invested a lot in him. You see all the stuff about him. I think he's probably safe, but one never knows. We'll have to see how many of these Lions rookies do make it when the 53-man cut down happens. In past years, just about all the Lions have made it as far as their draft picks. Now, the second year that may change. During Brad Holmes' tenure, the vast majority of the drafted players still remain here. You're starting to see a few like Ife Melifanu, etc., take off for other teams. It's just you can't keep everybody all the time, but let's also give respect to this Detroit Lions franchise. They have drafted very well, and the fact that so many of the draft picks still remain with the team, that's unlike any other time in Detroit Lions history. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions rank at the top of ESPN's personal grade units, story by Bill Rossetti of Lions Wire. Let's see if I can get this up on the screen for you guys, because just pure happenstance. The day after I did my rankings, apparently ESPN did theirs too, so who knew? Let's see if I can find the right one here. I think this is it. Let me see if I can make it larger on the screen for you. I'm working here for you. All right, let me get this off the screen. Let me make that bigger on the screen. I get not everybody's going to be able to read this, so apologies for it. But so anyways, ESPN did they had a panel of people apparently put out the best who they give scores 1 through 10 to each position. Baltimore Ravens have a 10 out of. All right, let me try to keep this larger. All right, there we go. All right, Baltimore Ravens at quarterback, the only team overall ranked slightly higher than the Lions, although you're splitting hairs when you do all the math. It's like the difference between a 7.75 and a 7.7 overall scores. And you can see the scores on the far right. It says total offense, defense. So you can see Lions and Baltimore Ravens both have at 7.7, although when you do the math, I think the Baltimore Ravens have slightly a higher score. Man, this thing just won't stay open. All right, well, maybe I won't be able to walk you guys through it. I'll just take it off the air, stop sharing. You guys can find it online and walk through it, but I'll walk you through it at least with my eyes. The Detroit Lions quarterback, they got a 7 out of 10. Running back, 10 out of 10. Wide receiver, 8 out of 10. Tight end, 8 out of 10. Offensive line, 8 out of 10. Defensive line, 8 out of 10. Interior defensive line. Defensive end, 7 out of 10. Linebacker, 8 out of 10. Some people, I thought it was interesting listening to their conversations about the grades I gave out yesterday. A lot of people kind of came at me about having 2 Lions linebackers in the top 200. But what do you get from ESPN? You got the Lions as an 8 out of 10. So ESPN also identified in their panel of whoever that the Lions were pretty dang good at linebacker. Cornerback, 7 out of 10. Safety, 9 out of 10. They actually had the Baltimore Ravens at 10 out of 10. And I thought, even I don't watch the Baltimore Ravens enough to have probably the best opinion of them. I just, maybe I'm being selfish here since I'm a Lions beat reporter or, content creator. I thought the Lions had the best safety combo in the NFL. All right, so there's your rankings. And again, Baltimore and Detroit tied. When I had in the top 200, if you guys remember yesterday, I had the Baltimore Ravens, I think 2 players below us in the top 200, but that doesn't mean they don't have sound depth everywhere else, maybe even some that supersedes us. All right, probably went on a little too long with that headline there, but it happens. All right, last of the 5 glorious headlines now. Don't, quote, disrespect, end quote, the potential unsung hero to the Detroit Lions defense by Ben Raven, MLive.com. We talked about this a little bit, I feel like, in the last week. A lot of people just, we talk about all the stars of the Lions on offense. You sometimes forget about some of the guys on defense. Aiden Hutchinson absolutely is going to get a lot of press when it comes to being somebody on the defense, a star, if you want. Jack Campbell's getting more and more acclaim. You have Alex Anzalone kind of proving his worth. You have Tyreek Williams, the first-round pick, getting out there, getting some stuff. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, hey, they're making some names for himself. You could even say Terrion Arnold by the end of the year. Had a few people talking positively about him, et cetera, et cetera. But how about DJ Reader? Last year, he did have a pretty dang good season. But maybe because there was nothing really glaringly wrong with his play, not enough of us talk about him. What we can say is, with DJ Reader, the team got exactly what they wanted out of him. They expected somebody to come in, stop the middle run game, force everything out wide to the edges, let the edges set the edge along with the cornerbacks, et cetera, or safeties. All things considered. On a scale from 1 to 10, let me know, Duke Crew, what are your thoughts about DJ Reader? I personally thought he was the perfect fit for the Lions last year and played incredibly well. He even got some sacks out of him, which probably most of us didn't anticipate going in. Going into this season, are we kind of missing the boat with this guy that he's better than most of us anticipate, that any of us want to talk about? And is he going to be an even bigger contribution to this team in this upcoming season? A lot of people are saying if he makes the team this year, which I think he will this be his final year in Detroit? I'm not so sure. If he has another breakout year, would you re-sign him? DJ Reader, it's hard to find someone like him and be able to replicate him, whether in the aggregate or just the singular, but whatever it is, he had an impressive year last year. Remember, everybody's jumping up and down when we signed this guy as a free agent, and there were a lot of people that said, man, he's not going to stay healthy, blah, blah, blah. He was one of the few Lions defenders that was relatively unscathed last year. So good for DJ Reader. I hope he does have a phenomenal season, and just maybe he gets a second contract from the team. All right, all that done out of the way. Let's get on over to something to talk about. How many of these spots on this team can you say are crystal clear, without a shadow of doubt, locked up, and there's no battle there? I think there's some guys fighting for their NFL lives, not just with the Lions, but in the NFL overall. There's going to be a whole lot of good battles. Let's dive into it during the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the daytime. We just talked about all the depth. We just talked about my top 200 rankings yesterday. We just got from ESPN today their rankings as far as the best teams in the NFL, and the Detroit Lions, I guess you could say, are tied with the Baltimore Ravens. With that also being said, you look across the board, who's going to make this team and who's not going to make the team. Could the Lions, pull some surprise here? I think most is going to say the quarterback position. Jared Goff's your incumbent starter. He's not going anywhere. But how about the backup spot? Hendon Hooker or Adams, who do you think ends up winning the number 2 spot? Will there be a number 3 spot? There have been some reports in the last week or two, I don't even remember who made the reports, saying that Hendon Hooker is kind of falling out of favor with the Detroit Lions staff. I'm not so sold on that because you know what? Teddy Bridgewater isn't the backup quarterback right now for the Detroit Lions. If they really had some questions, at least in my opinion, about Hendon Hooker, you probably would have made a bigger move or push to acquire a sound veteran backup quarterback. Maybe Adams did it. I don't know. Running back, everybody in the world gets it. Gibbs is off the charts good. He might be one of the top 3 or 4 running backs in the NFL. Maybe you can even say top 2. but he's going to share time with Montgomery. Dave Montgomery, hey, phenomenal player, would be a full out all the time, every down starter on most of the teams, but Lions want to keep both guys healthy as far as their number 1 and 2 punch. So what do? You split carries. But beyond that, who will win the number 3 or 4 spot? Could the Lions go with somebody younger just to save cap? I was working on something when getting ready for this morning's show, and I did some numbers, again, just kind of off the cuff, not really doing a deep dive into it, but with different varied groups. If you want to get rid of some of the veterans and keep some of the younger guys, so guys on rookie contracts, I think you could free up about 20, maybe 25 million in cap space. Maybe make an argument for 15 million, but you get it. You can free up quite a bit of chump change to either use to re-sign guys, go get somebody else, whatever it is. And some of that money would come from someone like Craig Reynolds if you want to get rid of him. We'll move on to some other spots of interest too. Let's go over to wide receiver. I think most of us would agree St. Brown, J-Mo, they're not going anywhere, whether now or 10 years from now, whatever, they're probably going to still be here. But beyond that, with Isaac Tesla's emergence, being drafted, could him or Dominic Lovett supersede Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond, or whatever, and now become the number 3 or 4 or 4 and 5 wide receiver? In that scenario, if Patrick was moved on from, he's got a 1-year deal, Khalif Raymond, we've talked about him before, I think he is in a battle to make this team to some degree. I still think he'll make it, but I think he's in a battle for it. If the Lions want to move off the 2 veteran guys, Patrick and Raymond, could they free up a wee bit of cash? I think it is possible if they want to go that route. Tight end spot, I don't think you're seeing much there. Yes, they brought in some guys there, but I think the top 2 guys, they're not going anywhere there, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Here's where I think it becomes a lot more interesting. Graham Glasgow, if you were to move off of him this year, you'd free up about $8 million this year. I think it's like $7.5 million. And then next year, his final year, I want to say is like just over $8 million. That's not a small amount, especially with the way he played last year. Now, when I did my top 200 rankings yesterday, I gave Taylor Decker a lot of credit and moved him up on the board where maybe some others wouldn't, because going back and rewatching some of those tapes where he struggled, was it him or was it something else? And at least in my conclusion, Graham Glasgow's out of position, getting beat, and Decker has to slide over. He has to make a choice between who to block, guy A or B, and guy A was going to have a longer route getting to the quarterback, so Decker slid to guy B to buy Goff a little more time. At least that's how I viewed it on a couple different plays. With that being said, with Graham Glasgow, we also know the Lions brought in 2 rookie guards, and both of them, we were just talking during about Tate Ratledge during the 5 headlines now, he's probably could start. The assumption is Christian Mahogany, a rookie last year, is going to start, so you got a cheap, especially on a 6th-round guy, contract there. Let's also been all sorts of reports. Giovanni Manu is playing pretty dang well and looking pretty dang well. So could you move off Glasgow? Could you move off Dan Skipper, who's on a 1-year deal? In either situation, you'd get younger on the team, cheaper on the team, and free up even more cap. I'm not saying that they're worried about the cap or trying to free up cap. I'm just pointing out the simple math. 2nd year, 3rd contracts, whatever you want to say, are a whole lot more expensive than rookie contracts, typically. Defensive end, here's my thought. I know if Pierce is in the comment section going to say there's no way Marcus Davenport starts, but could Marcus Davenport win the starting spot, or who will win the starting spot? A lot of us are assuming Za'Darius Smith will return to the team. What if he doesn't? If he doesn't, who do you think wins that camp battle? I'm going to assume just about everybody watching is going to say Aiden Hutchinson is going to win one of the defensive ends. But who wins the other one? It's a big battle, because if you can get good sound pressure while continuously setting the edge, then that defensive front with Tyleik Williams, we're assuming, with DJ Reader, with Aiden Hutchinson, with Lee McNeil when he returns, that's a pretty formidable defensive front if that other end can hit. Now, you've heard months and months and months since the season's ended of everybody from ESPN, Fox Sports, whoever else's show you want to watch saying the same stuff. Lions need to get a defensive pass rusher. They need to get somebody opposite Hutchinson. Is that guy currently in-house? Is that person currently on the team? Who wins between Pascal, Alaquin Muhammad, whoever else I'm not thinking of, or whatever for that spot, that Marcus Davenport or whatever? That's probably going to be one of the more watched camp battles in Lions history. Because if that guy can hit, whoever wins it, then you know what? That defensive front is going to be pretty fierce. Linebacker spots, I don't think there's a big battle there. If I'm missing it, though, by all means, point it out to me. If Rodrigo was out there, I think you could have some debate. He could challenge somebody. I don't know if he'd beat somebody out for a starting spot, but he could challenge. Maybe there's somebody else on the linebacker spot that could challenge that I'm not considering. Let me know. Cornerback, this is another spot I think that could be heavily contested. We're all assuming Meek Robinson's going to start, and he should. He played great last year. But could somebody like Enos Rakestraw beat him out for a spot? Could DJ Reed get beat out for a spot by somebody? Could Terrion Arnold get beat out by a spot? I don't know what's going to happen with Rakestraw, but I know that he's coming into this camp from all reports healthy. And that's a big plus for him because even as beat up as he was in scouting combine workouts, etc., he tested pretty dang well. If he's fully healthy, especially from a ripped groin muscle, let me tell you, anybody who's ever ran or tried to cut with one of those things, good luck. That's what I'll say. But if he's fully healthy from that, could he actually challenge one of the expected starters? I think there's some potential there. If nothing else, you're forcing everybody to get better. The safety spot, I don't think there's going to be much competition there unless they bring in one or two guys that we're not anticipating. I think those two spots are probably as safe as any spot on the team outside of maybe Jared Goff. Potentially, I guess you could say kicker and punter. But what say you guys? What say you do, crew? Who are your more expected camp battles? In my opinion, the guard spots, that's probably number one. The defensive end spot, that's probably number two. Whoever is going to start opposite DJ Reader, I'm assuming it's Williams, the rookie, but I don't know. And then the backup running back spots behind Gibbs and Montgomery. That's what I got for you as far as your expected biggest camp battles. But if I miss something, by all means, let me know in the comments section. All right, like I said, not going to make this the longest show today just because this is the holiday. So let me get to the top of the screen. I'm going to power through these, and then we'll probably be out of here in about 10 minutes or so. JDC, morning all. Back at you. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and the new crew. What a team! Exclamation point. What a podcast! Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And good morning as always, my friend. Good morning, JDC. Back at you both. JDC, morning, back at you, Henry. Hey, there you go. Trey, what's going on today, everybody? Question mark. I didn't think there would be a show. Hey, there's a show today. I had thought about maybe just taking the day off, but I was like, you know what? Hey, we'll just put together a half-hour show and get on with the rest of our day. Just greetings, salutations, Duke crew. I can see both offensive guard spots up for competition. One defense end spot, yep, and maybe McNeil gets right at defensive, and maybe until McNeil gets right at defensive tackle. Yeah, I think those are probably the more obvious ones, unless you want to talk about, like I was saying, depth at wide receiver, depth at running back. Those spots I do think will be up there. I do think the backup quarterback spot is going to be up for a grab. I'm banking on the Hendon Hooker, but it doesn't mean he can't lose out. I like what I saw out of him last year in the preseason. Let's be honest, in the regular season when he got out there, most of it was handoffs and knees and stuff like that. So I'm not going to really grade any of that stuff. I thought it was I wanted them to let it loose just to see what the kid had. It didn't happen. Good morning, Dew. Good morning, Dew to you too. Happy Memorial Day. Woo! And good to see you as always. Drake waking up to be a part of the Dew crew. Then we are heading out to a family cookout. Hey, enjoy the cookout, eat some good food, hang out with the fam and friends. Hey, Coach, I thought your rankings yesterday were pretty good. Thank you for that. Some debate on different guy ranks. Overall, I thought it was good. Thanks, man. Hey, anytime you put a number on a player or a person or whatever, you're going to open it up for the debate. So just have at it and have fun. Be respectful. Virgil Rose, happy Memorial Day, everyone. Remember those who serve, wise words and well said, my friend, 100%. 5 fingers ready. We are a little thin at safety. Could the team bring back, Brandon Joseph, question mark. I liked him. I don't remember the full situation with him. I want to say he got caught drunk driving. Maybe that's not right, though. Somebody can let me know in the comment section what it was. But at any rate, I liked him. I thought his potential was real great. Maybe he's latched on with another team. I don't know offhand. I would not be sad if they brought him back, but they got rid of him pretty quick. So maybe there's more to his story than I recall. Okay, enjoy your Memorial Day, Duke crew. Lots of American men and women gave it all for our freedom. Yes, correct with that. And yeah, show some respect for them. I know I'll go to my dad and some of my uncles and grandparents who have served and go to their graveyards. Let's see. Steve Rogers, does Hooker make the team this year? Ooh, question mark. I am wondering, based upon some reports of him picking things up slowly. There was some kind of chatter about that. I don't remember the whole story that, he learned slowly or whatever. I want to say somebody in the Duke crew called him a Capricorn or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea if there's any validity to that, but to me, it's a big year for him. If they really feel like he's got something going, they're going to give him every opportunity this preseason to prove his value. If not, they might be looking to move off him. Matt, I'm thinking Graham, Raymond, maybe DJ are fighting for the jobs. I think Graham Glasgow is, especially if somebody else can emerge as the backup center. Raymond, I don't know, man, just because I really like his ability on special teams. That being said, there is a significant cost value to both Khalif Raymond and Graham Glasgow. So if you're looking to save money, I could see both those guys, especially if it's fairly even with the guys they're competing with, then I can get the team trying to make a financial decision there. DJ Reader, in my opinion, I don't think he's going anywhere. Again, during the 5 headlines now, I thought he played incredibly well last year, and he probably gets overlooked more than he should, but we'll see. Voltron, I'd add Craig Reynolds to the hot seat. Could be, yeah. You do have Simovaki. If he's really going to be better and better as you're expecting most players' second years, then again, maybe he beats out somebody, and if he's even to Craig Reynolds, you're probably leaving Craig Reynolds behind as long as you don't need a fourth running back. All right, say Jim Reber, good morning, coach and Duke crew. Woo! Back at you. Hookadoo. With as much talent as our Lions have, they should all be giving it all in camp. Yeah, I think they're going to have to give it all. Every day, every practice. I mean, you get all the rookies are going to try to make the team. I've talked about a lot. Think about Ahmed Hussein, lining up against you. That kid, whether he makes it or not, I think he's going to make it. But we all can probably agree he's running through walls, over landmines, or whatever he can every snap he has out on the field. The veterans probably see a lot of the talent around them. We've talked about a number of them this morning. They all know if they want to win a 53, then they have to show up every day. And again, iron sharpens iron, whatever you want to say, put pressure on people. And I think there's a lot of pressure to go around. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I can barely walk today, and thankfully, I have the day off. Ha ha. Oh, how I miss training like this. Well, enjoy it, and hopefully you're doing well recovering, too. Man Bear, good morning. Back at you. Phil, greetings and salutations. Good to see you, Phil, as always. Detroit D, good morning, Duke crew, and same to you. Hookadoo, sounds like another spa day is in order for Stephanie. I would probably say that's wise words, man. You got to treat the body right. Body takes care of you. You got to take care of the body. Detroit D, do the do. France, another day closer to the season. You're not wrong. You think about later this week. It's June. July gets here real quick. 9 drinks. Good morning, Duke crew. Same to you, as always, my friend. Clark, if we are worried about trading for Hendrickson because of his salary, why don't we get rid of some of the guys on the bubble? Ooh, that could offset his cost. Is it possible? Sure. My math, my metrics, and I don't have all the numbers in front of me. I think you'll have a lot of veterans that could potentially, if they're about the same as some of the younger guys, you could move off of. And to your point, you can free up 15, 20, 25 million. You save all that. Could you now just say, hey, we're going to use that amount and go get someone like Trey Hendrickson or somebody else? Yes, I think that's possible. But whether or not the team will do that, I don't think so. But I've been wrong before. Jonathan, good morning, Coach Dan and the new crew. Hey, the new Duke crew. How about that? Robert, greetings and enjoyment to all. Hey, enjoy your day, Robert. Henry Moore, I look forward to the final cut. That signals the start of the season, and I'll be sad for those who make it and ecstatic for those that don't make it and ecstatic for those that do. Go Lions. Yeah, that's the downside, man. When you get that deep into the season, when you get down to the 53, all of a sudden, there's a whole lot of unemployed football players fighting for their professional lives to stay employed, to keep food on the table. I've talked to you guys about it before. One of the downsides to coaching professionally or collegiately, or however you want to word it, especially at the professional life, because these people are doing it for their lives. If you cut player A, player B, kids got to switch schools. They got to look for a different state, sometimes different countries in those scenarios. And just tough because you're displacing an entire family more often than not. Tori, dang, I thought there would be no show today. Bonus Lions Talk Live. Hey, that's why we're doing it. Giving everybody a holiday gift, I guess. Phil, can't wait to see Stephanie holding that championship belt. holding a fresh Mountain Dew? I'll have to ask, or I guess we need to ask. Is it a championship match? I'm not sure about that, but hey, either way, just hope she does well. Okay, Tori Dan is like the postman, rain or shine. I'll go with that. Down with that. Chuck, good morning, Coach Dan and the Dew Crew. Happy Memorial Day for all of the fallen and their families. Well said, my friend. Well said, Chuck. Henry, I just love autocorrect. Yeah, it gets me all the time, man. Of course, my spelling is so bad. It's like my pronunciations. My spelling's so bad, autocorrect just murders me, man. Duncan, good morning. I'm back at you with exclamation points. Brad Holmes is the best GM in the world. I don't know about that, but hey, he's at least the best that we've had in a long time. How about that? Vote, don't we all, Henry? There you go. Coach Rock, good morning, all. Same to you. Mark, good morning, all, and have a blessed Memorial Day. Well said, Mark. Hopefully you have a phenomenal one. Is that the mystery machine in front of the fire? I'm not sure. Henry Moore, Kurt Steele. We are observing Memorial Day. No boss up, ball out show today. Well said, my friend. Go enjoy it. You, more than most, have earned a day off. Damien, happy Memorial Day to all. Exclamation point. Stay smart, stay safe. Go Lions. All the above, my friend. Go Lions indeed. See Jason in Brooklyn. One pride worldwide. Let's go. Exclamation point. Dew Crew, what up? Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Jason in Brooklyn. Hopefully you're having a good holiday. Let's see, Donkey Kong. We appreciate you doing the Memorial Day show, Dan. Exclamation point. Thanks. No problem, man. The vets appreciate this show. They need this show today, Dan. Great work. Hey, I enjoyed doing it. And I just enjoyed doing this show and hanging out with you guys. Hopefully, you guys all get something out of it as well. Nine Drinks, happy Memorial Day. Same to you. Mary, happy Memorial Day. God bless those who have given their lives for us and to the families that have lost their loved ones. Well said. Very well said. And have a great day. Have a great day yourself, Mary. And yes, for all of you guys, if you can, just take a moment of time. Thank those who have served. And just, if you got someone in your family who has, give them a hug, man, because, if they've seen the wrong situations, it's had a toll on them. Let's see, Rocky, Stephanie, at my age, I feel like I worked out the night before. Every morning I get up, laughing out loud. Woo! Keep up the hard work. She's doing some hard work. Hopefully I hear from her, and let's get some more information about the fight. Maybe I can share it with the Dew Crew if she's okay with it. Nine Drinks, another floating head Dan Day. Yes, the black shirts. Yes, the Max Headroom effect. Phil, good morning, Mary. David, in each positional group coming out of the preseason, there will probably have an injury that will drastically affect who makes the team. Yeah, you're spot on with that, David. It's football. It's contact. People are going to get hurt. If the Lions somehow avoid it in the preseason, then good for them. But more often than not, you are right. There will be some injuries. Phil, a lot of the competition for Skipper. There's going to be a lot of competition for Skipper. He's got an advantage in that he's the incumbent. He knows everything. It's his flexibility. You've seen him at tight end. Heck, I want to say they even played him a little bit last year at H-back. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But with that also being said, you're only going to keep 8 or 9 offensive linemen. My guess is they keep 9. So you got 2 rookies. You got the guys that all started last year other than Zettler. You got Christian Mahogany stepping in. Somebody's going to be on the wrong side of this thing for sure. Hookadoo, 9 drinks, 2 hands, and a head. There you go, Phil. Coach looking like a hombre today. Coach, go ahead, make my day. There you go. 9 drinks, laughing. Johnny V, could Ahmed be the pick of destiny on this tenacious D? Ooh, who isn't rooting for that guy? But for someone to succeed, somebody else has got to take a seat or step back. I don't know if he's going to beat out some of the veterans. I know Davenport just can't stay healthy, but when he is healthy, he is pretty good. Pascal, I have questions about. I think he's real good against the run. I'm not so sure he has the ability to get after the quarterback as much as perhaps a starting defensive end the NFL should do. That also being said, Alaquin Muhammad, he developed so much in his time here last year. I don't know if he's going to start, but that's, I think to your point, Johnny, that's kind of the fun of it all. You got so much competition. Could Ahmed Hussein really develop and become a starter? I'm not going to put that on the kid, but if it happens, I don't think any of us will be sad. James, greetings and salutations. Dan and Dew Crew, do you think that Skipper makes the team this year? James, if you put me on the spot right now, my answer would be no. And that's no disrespect to Skipper. I love the guy to death. Obviously, he's got one of the most iconic woos ever on the show. But I just think Giovanni Manu, if we're to believe Taylor Decker, if we're to believe in Penei Sewell, amongst the other reports from the coaching staff, I just think he might beat him out. Now, maybe you keep Skipper and Giovanni Manu. I could see that situation. And if that happens, then great. We've got even more depth and flexibility. Kobe Scoresdale's probably gone one way or the other. I don't think he's going to beat out anybody. Maybe he lands down within our team. Phil, it's a good thing the Lions have a good special teams unit. Many guys make the team that way. Yes, they do. A good call with that, Phil. Silver, good morning, Coach and everyone. Good to see you as always. Mike the Marine Gunny. Howdy, Dan and Duke Crew family. Woo! Good morning, Gunny. How you doing? Bo DJ was the constant on the defense line. He was, man. He was the one guy that never really seemed to miss much time. James, I'm hearing the Lions may move on from Khalif Raymond. I think he is in a bit of a fight. The one good thing for Khalif Raymond, I would say, is he's been here for years. Well, maybe we should say two things. You know exactly what you're getting out of him as a wide receiver, and he does have speed, and he is a phenomenal punt and kickoff returner. My only question is, will he be able to hold off somebody else? You know, I have no idea if Dominic Lovick is going to do anything as a rookie. I do think Tesla is going to make it. The only question is, do you want Tesla to be the number 3, the 4, or 5 wide receiver? I'd make him earn it, and I think the Lions coaching staff will. People, I mean, the good part with all these debates, people are going to have to fight their butts off in order to make the team. Phil, with Barnes, Anzalone, and so many defensive players healing, how many players are we going to be ready? Are going to be ready mentally? I think by the time you get to OTAs, training camp, preseason, I think they'll all be pretty right, as long as they don't get more beat up. Hugadoo, Reader and his plays a very consistent game. Yes, he does. Yes, he does indeed. Kerry, good morning, Coach Do and Crew and Coach. How about that? And good morning, Kerry. Should Detroit trade Reader for Hendrickson? Man, would the Bengals want him back? I don't know, but I don't think the Lions are going to move off him. Been wrong before, though. James, DJ Reader will make the team this year. I think so. Really like him a lot. This is the first time he played a full season in a long time. Yeah, he was kind of like many of you guys are saying. He was the rock of that defensive front throughout the year. Vincent E., good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Same to you, my friend. Enjoy the day. Dale, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Happy Memorial Day. Thanks for all the service members. Yes, in the U.S. There you go. Silver. If Broderick Martin pans out, and that is a big if, then Reader is out. If not, then Reader has a chance at a reasonable price and for 1, maybe 2 seasons with a good out option for Detroit. Yeah, but to the point we keep bringing up, you've got a lot of great competition unfolding before our eyes. Phil, remembering mom, dad, and 3 brothers and the sister today. Miss them all. Never love never dies. No, it doesn't, man. And well said. Thoughts and prayers for you, Phil, and everybody else out there who have lost people, not just to the services, but in general. Let's see. Silver Reader was let go by Cincinnati. He has a no trade value. He has no trade value. There you go. Here's Johnny 2.0. Khalif is great when healthy. Last 2 seasons, his availability hasn't been an issue. Yes, it has been. He has been a little bit beat up. David, Gibbs, St. Brown, and JMO going to Summer Olympics. What does that does everyone else think about that? Hey, I guess we'll see what they do. I don't know anything about them being in the Olympics, David, so that's news to me, but good for them. Maybe they do something. Phil, how deep is our running back room? Question mark. If you lose Gibbs and Monty, who gets a chance? I would say at least right now, I would assume Craig Reynolds, but maybe Sion Vaki. Maybe they address somebody else too. Vincent E., yeah, Glasgow could be an odd man out. I think you're right with that one. Silver, everybody is talking about Manu. I can't wait to see what he does. Yes, if he really is that improved, and I liked him last preseason, but if he's really grossly improved over that, then good for the team. The team's going to be that much better, that much deeper, that much more athletic. Coach Rock, without Benedict Skip, could be gone. Could be. Dale, great topic, Coach. Camp battles to watch for sure this training camp. Go Lions. And good to see you, Dale. Exclamation point, by the way, at the end of that, Lions. Steve, good morning, Coach and crew. Exclamation point. Happy Memorial Day to all those, and a shout out to my dad, Big Dan Hook, for his service as a Marine in the Korean War. Rest in peace, Pops. Yeah, my dad was a tank commander in the Korean conflict, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, he served over there. I didn't know all about it until he passed away, but there was a couple guys who showed up, talked about him, said how they loved him as their sergeant, whatever, because when he had to do roll call in the morning, they all got to sleep an extra 15, 20 minutes because my dad apparently would just step up right when the sergeant was calling for a roll call and everything. You get up there and say, all present, count for, and go back to sleep, and you allow the guys, like I said, an extra 15, 20 minutes rest. So that apparently went over well with everybody. I can get that. Server. Players like Skipper probably have very little guaranteed money. The team rewards the season after season, but players will know how there's no guarantees for them and have to fight for a spot. Yeah. Pro sports, there's no guarantees, especially like you're pointing out, Silver Surfer, with a lot of positional battles that there's just so much talent. Everybody, I think, has to fight all the time. 9 drinks. What if McNeil's injured again? Brain fart right now. Can't remember. What is McNeil's injury? Recovering from an ACL tear. Dale, at Safe Hook, yes, with prayer and love and prayers. There you go. James Allen, Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker will probably retire after the season. Lions will eventually have to move on from both of them. Yeah, they're both getting a little long in the tooth as far as their NFL careers and at high impact positions. We'll see how long they both go. Here's Johnny. Salutations for a fallen in service. Correct with that, and thank you for saying that. JDC, happy trails. Go Lions victory. Have a great day. Dre Day. Kickoff and punt return. Love it. And Raymond will be a good battle. It will be. It will be interesting to see who wins the punt and kickoff return duties. Bo, backup tackle should be a battle. It should be indeed. Silver Server, Khalif on the bubble for many reasons, cost and availability being 2 of them. But Campbell loves his players, though. He does, man. He is very, very loyal. Jennifer, morning all. Same to you. And good to see you, Jennifer. Trim Reaper, have a great day, coach and crew. Woo! And you too. Have a good one, my friend. Silver Server, James Allen, they might move on from him sooner than we think. It depends on how coaches see young offensive linemen, how they got. Yes, how good have they gotten? Silver Server, it was me, Coach Explanation Schwartz. He is a Capricorn, born January something. All right, I'll go with that. Egon, Dan Jackson could earn some snaps at safety. That's probably ambitious, though. It could be, I like the guy, everything I've seen on him. The only thing down with him that I haven't liked is the fact that he really only played as a starter 1 year in college. He's going to get exposed a little bit, but you got a good coaching staff to develop him, and in a backup role, maybe that's okay. For now, at least. Silver Server, Craig Reynolds, at that point, would sign with another team or stay in Detroit practice squad. I'm not sure. It depends on if somebody from another team offers him something if he was to get cut. Raymond, good morning, Detroit Lions family. Back at you. Good to see you, my friend. Nice pumpkin. James, what are your thoughts about Alex Anzalone more than likely to be cut? The Lions don't like negative publicity about contracts. I would hope they don't cut him. But to your point, if he's in his feelings about he needs to get a new extension, I think to your point, James, they have made it very clear they don't deal with that very well. If Anzalone were to fall out of favor and get cut or just said, hey, you got to play this year on this contract, I don't know. That might open the door for Rodrigo, who I really do like. But Rodrigo, as we all know, is recovering from an ACL. He's probably, I would think Rodrigo doesn't return until maybe November. I don't know, somewhere right around November. Trim Reaver, by the way, Pepsi Cola Company got back to me about the sponsorship, and I'm bummed to say they gave me discounts for myself only. Hey, at least you got the discounts, man. Rocky, hope Hussein doesn't have to go against Panay too much. It would be a tough way to make a team. Woo! The good point is, though, Rock, if he does it, think about having to learn to develop against Panay Sewell or Taylor Decker. They're both good players that should help him out in his growth trajectory. T-Bone Lokes, I'm late. It happens, man. It happens. James, this is why this is my all-time favorite podcast. Thanks for that, man. Hey, the Duke Crew is a great place to hang out with. You know what you're talking about. I've been listening to you for 3 years now. Oof, man, you are one of the OGs, James. Thanks for being a part of the crew. Egon, Panay will make him so much better. I agree with that. My birthday is 2 days away. Happy birthday, my friend. Make sure you remind me of that on your birthday. You get a birthday woo. Trimmer, happy birthday, James. Mary Smith, good morning, Phil. Have a blessed day. Good morning to everybody. And back at you, Mary. Look at you. Happy trails, Duke Crew. One prime worldwide. Grit wins. Grit is always in the winner. Cynthia, the battles could prove to be surprising. Seems like there would be a lot of variables to consider on the field and maybe off 100%. There's going to be so many things that probably define who's going to make it, who's not, because of the great depth, because of the great quality. Man, you're going to be splitting hairs with a lot of these cuts. Miles Margaret, one prime. Phil, thank you, Mary. Bo, happy trails, Duke Crew. Another day in the books. See you next time. We'll see you then, my friend. Hookadoo, I knew you were listening today, Miles Martin. Enjoy your holiday. Go Lions. 100% to everybody. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy your day. Miles Martin, thanks, Hookadoo. You too. Exclamation point. Laughing out loud. Phil, Robert Martin has impressed this offseason. Get ready. Let's hope so, man. I hope I'm cheering the guy on, but I'm cheering on 90 different guys to make the team, and then unfortunately, as we all know, not all 90 will make the team. Gary, chomping at the bit, want to see Manu, Dirtbag, and Jamarco Jones? Let's see. You'll get your opportunities. Lauren, good morning all. Same to you. Always glad to see you. We're going to Dan, do you know what kind of tank he was a commander of? That I don't, unfortunately. I probably have to ask some of my siblings about that. But, he served. Let's see, my grandfather served in World War I. One of my sisters in Desert Storm. I want to say we even have, maybe it's my great-great-grandfather or something like that, was in the Civil War, something like that. Phil, punt? Yes, punt. Pint return? Hey, return a pint today. It's probably a good day for it there, Phil. Gary, happy trails, everyone. Enjoy your holiday. Stay safe. Go Lions. Have a great day, my friend. Make it a great day for yourself and someone else. Earl, good morning, and do crew to you too, Earl. Have a great holiday. Phil, hit that like and sub button. Yeah, hit all the buttons if you would, please. Lauren, like button smashed. Woo! Thank you for that. All right, guys, we'll let you get on here, get ready for your day. If there happens to be breaking news today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, if you would be so kind, before checking out, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons. Go have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Respect the vet, and we'll see you guys all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.